course, all the opinions expressed in the video are my opinion. So if you disagree with my opinion, leave a comment down below and I will gladly explain why you're wrong. Hey guys, it's Phil here. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're looking at Collabro's final album. This sucks, just to put it plainly. It's a shame to see them go. It just, I don't know quite. Been trying to figure out how to articulate this since I found out about it. But today is a good video. Today's a happy video. Today we're going to be reviewing their new album. So I got the signed copy of the book album, deluxe type album. It didn't come like that. Apparently it was falsely advertised. So it came with this postcard, which was signed by all four of the boys. This isn't actually a surprise to me because this happened before with their Christmas Is Here album. I was promised a signed CD and a blank Christmas card, but I got a signed Christmas card and an unsigned album. I would have definitely preferred the album signed, but we're not going to go there today. So here it is. This is the album, Be Still My Soul. It has 10 songs on it, some of which are religious hymns, Christian hymns, all of which have Christian sort of undertones to them. So even if they're not directly hymns, they are sort of religious based. It says there on the side, Collabro, Be Still My Soul. Yeah, so cracking it open, it's got a lovely inside artwork there. It's not really an artwork, I wouldn't call it an artwork, but it's a nice, simple design. This album cover is a nice, simple design. I've actually got this design here as a tattoo, as part of a tattoo I have. If you want to see that, you can go over to Instagram and look at that. I'm not going to show it on YouTube. But that's that. Looking at the content page, we have each of the songs: Per Wayfaring Stranger, Abide by Me, Near My God to Thee, all 10 songs. We have a write-up from each of the fellas there, page 8 and 9, page 25 and 26. Or sorry, page 24 and 25, and then Message from the Boys is on 32. So scrolling through this here, it's just really sheet music for all their songs, which is ironic because this is a fully a cappella album. So the fact that they included sheet music to me is somewhat humorous. But they're good, thick, good quality pages, which I like to see. So I'm just going to fast forward here to their write-ups. So here is Jamie. This record has been a very personal one for me. After 2 long and very difficult years, the process of making this sound world and creating this story has been really healing. I am awfully grateful to James and Juliet, our producers, my mum and dad, Norma, Katie, Al, Ollie, and my partner Matt, not Matt Pagan, before you go there, for their support throughout this process and the pandemic in general. As ever, I have a special place in my heart for my pug Betty, who has single-handedly cuddled me throughout the entirety of all the lockdowns. To the fans, I thank you for standing by us throughout this time. To my partner in crime, Eliza, for being epic. Finally, thank you to Matt, Michael, and Tom for being nothing short of brilliant brothers and joys to work with. So that was Jamie. And right beside him here we have Matt. Another album! This one is something completely different and it's been an absolute joy to record it. I'd firstly like to thank our incredible producers, James and Juliet. Their work is really genius. To the fans who always support us no matter what, thank you. We love you. So then why'd you leave us? Yeah, that's a Collabro reference to anybody who gets that. If you get that, then thank you. I'll take your laughs in the comments below. But anyway, thank you to Michael, Jamie, and Tom for being the most incredible people to be able to share this journey with. A big thank you to my family and friends, especially my mum and dad, who follow us everywhere. And thank you to Anna for the constant love and support. Enjoy our album. These kind of suck to read. I can just tell. There are very humorous undertones to this, which is good. But this essentially is a goodbye album. We all know it. And their farewell tour is coming up in December, which of course I'm going to. I don't know if I'll film it or not. I'm still not sure. So here we have a lovely fold out of the 4 boys. That is a really nice photo. That of course is a black and white version of a screenshot taken from the Bridge Over Troubled Water single that came out. When was it? It was before summer, wasn't it? It was in June, I think, May or June. But other than that, it's just sheet music until we get to the next set of messages, which I have actually gone past. Where are they? Okay, so here we are with Michael and Tom. Our 7th album. How incredible. It has been an absolute joy to record this album with just our voices and hear so clearly that unique Collabro sound that we make, hearing each of our voices so prominently. It has been a challenge to take on a new genre, but it's been so much fun, and I think we created something very special. As always, there are so many teams of people who make the album possible, and we couldn't do it without them. I'd like to thank my family, friends, the other boys, and of course the collaborators, that's of course their name for the fans, that make it all possible. I love you all. It's interesting there that he said it was a challenge to take on a new genre, because I've long believed that throughout the entirety of their career that they've always been very experimental with their music, taking on things like That's Life and the Jersey Boys melody. And when you compare back to their first 2 albums, which of course back then they were a 5-piece, you have things like really powerful adaptations of things like Somewhere Over the Rainbow and Let It Go, and really powerful music, and then changing it to the sort of gentler stuff like Somewhere Only We Know, I'll Be There For You, and then the sort of swingier songs like That's Life and the Jersey Boys medley. It's interesting to say, I don't know why I thought I'd point that out. I just thought it was funny because I feel like they've explored a new genre within nearly every song they've done. But now Tom here has wrote, first and foremost, thank you to all of the boys. It's been an absolute pleasure creating this album with you. You all sound beautiful. Thank you to all the fans who will hopefully be enjoying the more intimate nature of the songs. Doing what we do for a living is still mind-boggling even after 8 years. You make it all possible. Thank you to our producers, James and Juliet, whose expertise allowed us to take the album from an idea to an actual record. Finally, thank you to my friends and family, especially my parents and partner Rose, for supporting me in everything I do. So, yeah, you can sort of tell that they're trying to say a farewell here in their own wee way. They are saying thank you to everybody for making the album possible, as they do in all their ones, but I don't know if it's just me personally. I feel like this is a very different message. But we'll get to the very end here after the sheet music. There's a lovely half page of the Bridge Over Troubled Water artwork, and then we have Message from the Boys. So let's read Message from the Boys. Hello, we just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who has made this album possible. James Morgan and Juliet Potchin, Lambert Jackson Peak Productions, that's of course Jamie Lambert's production company, one of the Collabro, if you know, you know, whatever. Townsend Music, Absolute Label Service, Rebecca Pitt Creative, Paul Jeffrey Design, Brook Films, Joseph Ed Thomas, Lois Lane Makeup, Portman Street, Baggage Sounds, The Tidgy Creative, Lois Cooper Accountancy, and TMPR. Of course, we couldn't have done any of this without our family and friends' support, but mostly we'd like to thank each and every collaborator who have made this worthwhile. Love you, the boys, Jamie, Matt, Michael, and Tom. So that is the crux of the book album. I will hold this dear forever. It's a nice texture. It's unlike the Love Like This book album, which I also have up there. But I think this is a really nice piece, and it's definitely something that I'm glad I have. I am going to buy the standard copy of the album just because I'm a collector and I need every version of all their albums. So we're now gonna go into depth into each one of their songs and tell you what I think. I'm going there to see my mother. She said she'd meet me when I come. Okay, so Per Wayfaring Stranger, I absolutely loved. I was excited to hear they were doing it. I adore the original, but their take on it was so different. Of course, it was a cappella, so I knew it was going to be different, but they changed the tune, they changed the words somewhat, and it genuinely is an amazing song. I really, really love this version of this song. I think it's definitely one of the strongest songs on this album. I need thy presence every passing hour. Abide With Me, I didn't like the first time I listened to it. I was actually quite disappointed with the album as a whole the first time I listened to it, but I'll get to that in a minute. Abide With Me, after a couple of times of listening to it, it started to become an earworm, and I really started to like it. I think it's a nice, easy listening hymn, and I did know the song previously before Collabro's cover of it, and I just think that it works with their voices, and I like it. Go by my walls to be nearer, my God, to thee. Nearer, my God, to thee was very similar to Abide With Me. In fact, I would often cross wires whenever I'm singing them in my head or out loud. I'd sing one and then just cross it over into the other. I don't necessarily feel that's a bad thing. What I just mean is that they both have a very similar rhythm, a very nice, consistent sound, a very well-suited song to their voice. Again, I didn't like it originally when I heard it, but I do now. And that's a good thing, because the more Collabro songs there are that I like, the longer my playlist is, and the more I get to listen to them. So yeah. Grace will lead us home, will lead us home. Amazing Grace. I am quite disappointed with Amazing Grace, to be honest, but I knew I would be from the moment I found out this was an a cappella album. Whenever I heard they were doing Amazing Grace, a light bulb went off in my head. I pictured a big, massive, instrumental, powerful, original Collabro version of Amazing Grace. And as soon as I read an interview with Tom, where he said it was an a cappella album, that was the first time I heard it was an a cappella album, I just thought, oh, this song's not gonna be that great. And it was nice. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful cover of the song, and I do enjoy listening to it. But I just feel like if it had instrumental behind it, it would be a phenomenal, phenomenal cover of this song. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Bridge Over Troubled Water, the song that kick-started the campaign for this album. I loved it the first time I heard it. I loved it the second time I heard it. Way back when the single first came out, I listened to it at least once a day. I still am not bored of their cover of this song. I think the harmonies in it, I think the atmosphere that they create with their harmonies is just amazing. This is a brilliant, brilliant version of this song, and I absolutely love it. It's amazing. To the edge, running on the water, coming through the fog, your sons and daughters. We, the great and small. Let the River Run. That's a really interesting one. I love it, but I don't know why. I can't put on it. It's so upbeat compared to the rest of the songs on the album, so it stands out a lot more. I can't tell if it's a hymn or not. It mentions Jerusalem, so probably, but I don't know, it just makes me happy when I hear it. It's catchy, it's upbeat, it's good to sing along to. I absolutely love this song. I had never heard of this song until this version of it, so if it's a poor cover of it, I don't want to hear the original. That's just it. It's a brilliant song. I love it. I'll find my way through night and day. Tears in Heaven, when that single came out, I instantly took a liking to it. Of course, the original, I don't remember who sung it, forgive me, but I know he wrote it for his son who passed away. And I feel like it's just a really nice message. It's almost a philosophical question. Would you know me if we met in heaven? And I feel like the boys' voices are really suited to that song, and it just works. It's a really good song. I love it. Be still my soul, thy God doth undertake. Be still my soul. Ooh. I don't know. I don't like it. I didn't like it whenever it was released as a single, and I've really tried to like it, but it is one I don't like. I don't know what it is about it. It almost feels like they're trying to be too churchy with it. Like the other ones were nice and soft and just nice, easy listening to songs. But Be Still My Soul, you can almost hear the church organs playing behind them when that song is on. I don't know, that song, you win some, you lose some. And for me personally, that song just wasn't there. When Christ shall come with shouts of acclamation. How Great Thou Art. I knew when I seen this on the song list for this album that it was going to be nice. I grew up listening to this song until the pandemic. I was at church every Sunday without fail. It's just a nice song, and Collabro's such a unique sound. It's a perfect combination for this song and their voices. It's just a success. It's a beautiful song. I cherish the old rugged cross, till my trophies at last I lay down. Old Rugged Cross follows a very similar line of thought for me. I really like the original Old Rugged Cross, and I was excited to hear their version of it, and it didn't disappoint. The harmonies in it are amazing. That wee few notes opening it were really nice. It's somewhat upbeat, but at the same time, it's a slow, steady song. Yeah, it just works. It's just a really good song and a really nice way to finish the album, Old Rugged Cross, I think, yeah. Okay, so overall, as an album, it takes a wee bit of getting used to. It's very, very different to Collabro's usual style, but then what is Collabro's usual style? They've experimented that much with sound. If they were doing an 8th album, frankly, it would be jazz or rap, the way they're going at the minute. But I think there's something quite poetic about this album being a religious album and a nice quiet album. Because when you think back to Stars in Act 1, or sorry, forgive me, Stars in Act 2, they were big, powerful, belter after belter songs, and it developed that signature style of Collabro. And then when Richard left and the Home album came out, it was very different. Not in a bad way, by all means. I am not implying that it's bad. I'm just saying it's different, and a very, very good different. Not better, but not worse, just different. And it's amazing. And then Road to Royal Albert Hall and Love Like This, you see somewhat of a steady decline. Not in quality. No way have they declined in quality at all throughout their 7 albums. But in power, like the first 2 albums, it is just starting off nice and quiet and then hitting you with instruments, hitting you with powerful voices. And then as each album's progressed, that's sort of come down and down to the point where we're at an a cappella album that's all soft and all beautiful. Again, I'm not saying anything negative here. All the albums and all the songs I love dearly. I'm just saying it's an interesting observation. And the fact that this is a religious album really does provide closure on the fact that this is the last album. It's almost like a metaphor, where as the power of the songs are decreasing, they're rising up. So this last album is their final ascension into musical heaven. Done and dusted. No more Collabro. And that is a very, very painful thought, because I could go on for 20 minutes about how much this band means to me, what they've helped me through, what they've helped my family through. And I'm just grateful that I have been a part of their journey, watching them from their first audition to where they are today. And I will be there at their last concert on the farewell tour, ready to see them off. So this sucks, to put it plain, to put it simply. I don't want this to end, but all good things must. So, not quite the upbeat video I had in mind, but I want to end on some good news. 50 subscribers, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Way back when this channel first kicked off, we had a 50 subscriber video planned, and I just thought to myself today, God, how plans have changed. There is no way in hell I am posting that 50 subscriber special now. What I had planned is just not possible anymore. My content's changed, my friendship groups have changed. So I'm planning my 100 subscriber special now, but God knows how long that'll be and when that'll be, which is also an interesting thought. But thank you so much for the 50 subscribers. And also my debut video back, I don't know if you call it a debut video, but my first video back is already at over 150 views, which is mind-blowing. I'm glad, because I've put a lot of thought and a lot of time and effort into making that video as good as possible. And I hope that this video is also of really good quality, because that's what I want to be. I want to stop posting videos for views, stop posting regular content, and just focus on videos that I want to make and make them the best I can possibly make them. So to conclude, this was a very, very good album. The first time I listened to it, I was a bit upset, but probably just because as a bias, because it's their last album, I wanted something more. And no matter what album they released, it was never gonna meet the standard I had in my mind. And that is nothing against Collabro, that is just me not wanting them to go. But overall, I would rate this album probably about a 6 out of 10. It's probably their 4th best album, 5th if you're counting Christmas Is Here, in my opinion. It's definitely not their worst album by any standard. A few wee things. There was a couple of songs that whenever I found out they were doing religious songs in this album, a few songs instantly came to mind. Some of them were the likes of Be Still for the Presence of the Lord. I can just vividly hear Jamie doing a solo of that opening verse and thinking it would be amazing. Somewhere in Your Silent Night, again, just the dynamic of the 4 voices would fit that song phenomenally, and it would give them a 4th song with Somewhere in the title. And another one that came to mind was Cornerstone, but it might be a wee bit too hymny. The hymns they did were either really popular ones or weren't too worshipy, if that makes sense, whereas Cornerstone is a worship song through and through. But yeah, overall 6, maybe 7 out of 10 for this album. I do really love it. I feel like it is a nice send-off to an amazing band. So I've rambled on way longer than I thought, but yeah, so unless I decide to post a video on the farewell tour, which I just might, I really don't know yet if I'm going to, this will be the last you'll hear from Collabro. So thank you guys so much for watching, and welcome to all the Echo ones who subscribed to me because of the Echo video. But yeah, this is the end of Collabro. So thanks for watching, and bye. Quick, just 1 second before you go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to my amazingly talented best friend Shannon, who made me this Troubled Water Collabro keychain and this absolutely beautiful glass painting of the artwork for Bridge Over Troubled Water. She does amazing stuff like this on Dpop, so I will list her store down below. Go check her out. Thanks for watching.